Is both economics and the environment. It does this through two of its benefits: increased energy security and decreasing the U.S. dependence on foreign oil. In short, the Pickens plan proposes new energy uses and new energy sources, which allow for greater environmental stability and decreasing the expenditures from the government. The plan affects the environment by increasing the power generated for the United States through the use of more wind turbines. Over the 10-year timetable, as produced by T. Boone Pickens, wind turbines will produce 22% of the country's electric power. This number comes in the midst of substantial conversions from previous power-generating sources over to wind power. In the last several years, California has seen a 48% increase in wind turbine usage. Texas has seen a 2,400% increase. From 1980 to 2000, the total U.S. wind-generated power went from 0 megawatts to 2,500 megawatts. And from 2000 to 2010, it increased from 2,500 megawatts to over 40,000 megawatts. Megawatt usage is expected to grow by 5 times the amount in 2020, and that would still be a fraction of the untapped potential of wind power. To put this into perspective, 1 megawatt can power roughly 10,000 houses. And by 2020, the wind power is expected to be able to power over 2 trillion houses. Wind power has several benefits. First, it's a constant source of energy. Unlike oil, wind is unlimited. It will always be around, regardless of how much energy a specific turbine has generated, whereas oil is limited. Additionally, wind turbines can generate electric power at any time of the year. It does not operate on an 8 to 5 workday, Monday through Friday, get some holidays off. It's not going to join a union and strike. Additionally, the smart grid is a method of monitoring and controlling electric power, and that can help us when the winds die down. Imagine the microfridges that we're each given on campus. It has a refrigerator and a microwave. All power is cut to the microwave except for when it's being used, and once it's being used, all power is cut from the fridge until whatever is being done is heated. That's a very basic and a very rudimentary version of a smart grid, because we do not force any change upon how that electricity is being used, but it gets changed based off usage. Wind, additionally, it has no byproduct or leftover waste. The existence and use of wind does not create chemicals that harms the environment. Because using wind would be a new energy, we can use our current power sources elsewhere. Wind would replace natural gas as the primary fuel for power plants. Natural gas, in turn, would be used to fuel hundreds of thousands of heavy vehicles, which currently run on petroleum-based products. Most of the petroleum that the United States uses is imported from foreign nations. By using already existing natural gas within the U.S., we are reducing the total amount spent on imports. Not only that, but the technology for this conversion from petroleum to natural gas already exists. Therefore, we do not need to spend money on research and development, and we can merely implement the program. Pickens estimates that by using his plan, we will reduce our petroleum imports by roughly $300 billion. To put the issue of imports into perspective, in October of 2010 alone, we spent over $28 million on imports that would have been eliminated if we adopted Pickens' plan. Every minute, we paid a foreign nation $40,000 for oil. Imports has been an increasing problem over the decades. During the Nixon administration, 30% of our oil came from foreign nations. And according to the Milken Institute of Global Conference panel, almost every presidential candidate since Nixon, and every presidential candidate that won the election, promised to decrease our dependence on foreign oil. But what actually happened is quite the opposite. Now, 66% of our oil comes from foreign nations, with the largest increase being during the George W. Bush's administration.